Hi guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2019, and I am here today for my 1 year, 19 week, or 71 week post-op VSG update. To start off with stats, again, my name is Grace. I am 5'8", 28 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy or VSG weight loss surgery. My highest weight ever recorded was 354 pounds in May of 2017, and I was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet, and over the course of that 6 months, I did lose 35 pounds, so my starting weight day of surgery was 319 pounds. Last week I came into the weight of 188.8, and this morning I weighed in at 187.2. So that is a weekly loss of 1.6 pounds, a loss in surgery of 131.8 pounds, and a loss since my highest weight of 166.8 pounds. Another loss. I'm really happy with it. I'm going down steady, and I'm at over 16 months out. That's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit nervous about the weigh-in because I was at my dad's this past weekend, and while I am doing the 75 hard, so I did stick to my meal plan, I probably had a little bit more carbs than I normally do, and we did a couple of longer hikes, and the weather is different there, so I did feel like I was kind of retaining some water a little bit while I was there, so I wasn't sure if I would have a bit of water retention in my weight, but actually, by the time I came back, all of that extra water had dissipated. I'm actually up a smidge from yesterday, which was the first time, which is when I, got back basically. So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the weight loss, and it's all going well. Like I said, I was at my dad's. We went on 2 hikes while I was there, which was cool. We did one hike that was, it's like about I think we were there out for a little over 3 hours, and it was, a gentler hike in my estimation. I definitely still had some decent heart rate, but it wasn't super intense. And then we did, just my dad and I did a shorter one on Sunday. The whole thing only took us about a little over an hour, but it was super steep and intense. So it was cool to do that. The intense one I'd actually done with them before back in October, and it was with my dad and my stepmom. And we summited this time in, I think, like 31 minutes, and last time it took us over 45. So I'm definitely improving in terms of ability to hike, from October. And October was right when I had just started doing the couch to 5K. That was like basically my first ever hike, and when I was starting to do more cardio, add more cardio in. Speaking of the cardio, so I talked about my hip thing and how I was pretty sure it's a joint issue, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I was talking with my dad, and he was like, yeah, it is a hip issue. Like, you had an issue when you were a baby or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. But I actually, once he talked about it, I remember when I was a kid, I used to walk like duck-footed. And I remember going to the doctor to fix my stride, I guess. And I hadn't really thought of that in a long time. And he was like, yeah, like, you've got like a slight joint thing, and the doctor didn't think it was like anything to be concerned about or anything that like needed surgery or anything, but it does explain like it is some kind of joint issue, which is unfortunate because I mean, it really does rule out running for me. I can run, and it's okay for short distances, but like after I did that 5K, and maybe I could build it up, I'm not sure, but even after like that 3-hour hike I did, I wasn't in pain, but it was just like I could kind of feel it. I could feel the hip soreness a bit. And so, it's just not, it's not worth potentially making it worse. So I mean, it was kind of nice to like feel a little bit better about, because I kind of decided like running more than like a 5K is probably out for me. And I'm a little bit bummed about it. And if I really wanted to, I'm sure I could push it, but I don't really enjoy running. So if I really enjoyed running, I would probably do some more investigation, but I just don't. And so I think I will move on to other pursuits, which I've pretty much already done, but it's nice to be like, but I'm still running twice a week in the mornings. I do intervals for about like 30 minutes. depending on the day, I do at least 5 minutes running, and then, you know, walking and then running. Sometimes I'll do longer running depending on how I'm feeling, but at least 5 minutes at a time, a couple of times in a row, twice a week. So I am, you know, still getting some cardio in. What else? Oh, another NSV, we went to the museum. We go to the art museum pretty regularly here, and we actually had not been in about a year, just for various reasons I hadn't gotten there. And we went, and I just really, I mean, I really enjoyed myself. I love going to the museum, but I did really remember how hard I found it pre-op to stand for that long. Even though, I mean, and while we were there, you know, it's only like, you know, maybe 2 hours, less than that even, when we were there this time. And it was weird to me remembering how much I kind of struggled with that, how much I wanted to sit down. Just being on my feet that long was just really uncomfortable. And so it was nice to, you know, go this time and realize that we could have continued to be there for much longer if we wanted, and I would not have had an issue. So that was nice. So yesterday, so another thing to talk about is yesterday I had my annual physical with my doctor, and brought up, you know, some various things. I've got a bit of a skin rash right now on my pannus, my lower stomach, so she prescribed some antibiotic ointment for that. She did say that she would be open to prescribing some medical massage and chiropractic stuff, so I've got to look into that, but I'm really excited. And talked a little bit about my trip to Peru and all that stuff, and got some labs done. I'm sorry, my talking is not happening today. Normally, you know, she used to run so I guess that's kind of another A1C, oh my god, another NSV about my A1C. She used to run that every single year, or every single time we met, and she would actually have me run it like every 3 months. And she was like, she's like, you know, you just did it in December, because I did it for my 1 year. She's like, I don't feel the need to do the A1C again. I think you're good. I'm okay with just doing it once a year now. So since you just did it, I'm fine with that. And that was kind of cool. Like, she trusts that my A1C is okay. I mean, and I was diabetic. That was the biggest reason why I had surgery. But I did ask her to do a lipid profile for my cholesterol, because I have been noticing an upward trend, and that is something that I know some people post weight loss surgery, there are some incidences of increasing cholesterol. Chemistry Queenie actually talked about this in one of her videos after like her 1 year. I can't remember if it was her 1 year or 1 year and a half, something. I remember her talking about it because she wasn't super happy about it, but she was one of those people whose cholesterol went really high. And I've been noticing that trend with me as well. And we got my blood panel done. And again, I had just had it done in December. And my doctor was like, these don't look like they came from the same person. In fact, she was like, I almost suspect that, you know, I'm wondering if there's a lab error, because these look so different from even just what you were 3 months ago, because they were so much different, so much higher, but also what she would expect based on my much better diet and my weight loss. It's just not what you would expect from someone who has decreased their weight significantly and is eating significantly healthier. And I don't do keto, I don't do super high fat, but I would say I do moderate fat, high protein, moderate fat, low carb. I'd say I get 50% of my calories generally from fat. So, not crazy different from perhaps the standard American diet, less carbs for sure, but more protein. But so she was like, I'd like you to do this again in 3 months, and then we can discuss, because right now my LDL, my bad cholesterol, is at 192, which is really high. Like, they recommend medication after once you're above 190. So it's very high. But my HDL, my good cholesterol, is also high. My ratio is within the normal range, and I did check my remnant cholesterol, and my remnant cholesterol is at a low risk factor. So I wrote her back and I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine with doing the labs in 3 months. I mentioned remnant cholesterol, saying I've been looking into this. It looks like based on my remnant cholesterol, my ratio, like I'm still within normal range. I'm happy to talk about this more after we get my labs done in 3 months, but I very much would like to avoid medication. And she seemed on board with that. She was like, we can do a more advanced panel that will break it down further so we can really see what's happening. She's like, you know, you're at a very low risk for heart attack based on your age and your diet and your exercise and all that stuff. I'd prefer to avoid medication as well. You know, it's not good if you ever want to get pregnant. And like, even though statin has low risk factors, you know, she seemed pro not putting me on medication if we could avoid it. So that's good at least. But that is something I wanted to mention because I had been noticing, because I took my labs. I mean, I get my lipid panel. I used to do it every single year with my primary care, and then I did it right before surgery, and then I did it 6 months after surgery, and then at my 1 year. And each time it had been going up. So it went up at my 6 months, it went a little bit up more at my 1 year, and it went up significantly more just 3 months later. And that's also highly influenced by like what you've been eating for the previous, you know, week or two. So just something that I'm keeping an eye on, I wanted to mention because relevant. And like I said, I have heard that there are some people who kind of experience this unusual side effect with losing weight, which is what I'm thinking it is, because like I said, I don't do keto. Like I do low carb and I do moderate fat, but I would not say that my fat is crazy significantly high. But I'm honestly not worried about it. It's not like fun to you know, have to deal with it, but I'm not really super concerned. I think that I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm eating the diet that fuels my body and that works with me mentally in terms of keeping cravings and binging at bay. So I'm happy with the choices I'm making. I do have some more things to talk about at some point about kind of where I'm feeling in terms of diet and all of that stuff, but I think I'll save that for a future video because we're already at 12 minutes and this already had lots of information. I'm trying to keep my videos in a respectable range for you guys. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, for your lovely comments. I so appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys are all doing really well. I hope that this May is bringing you joy. And I will talk to you all very soon.